And with the beautiful backdrop of Brixham Harbour, it's welcome to the Torbay International Powerboat Race, September 1982. Pits before we go over to some of the live action on the water. And our on-the-water camera takes us round some of the runners and riders for the race tomorrow. One of the senior scrutineers here, Jeff Lindsay, and here comes P1, Hayes Twice as Fresh, who currently stands #1 in the Cruiserweight Championship. Jeff Brazier there relaxing in the sunshine. Welcome again down here in Brixham. We see the P52 substitute boat with David Baker. Wrecker boats, he's saying, wrecker boats. And here, moored off Twice as Fresh, we have Wilman Marine, 01 Aquaglide, and the American Rothmans. We get them to fire it up for us in the morning.
Here we have John Cracksford putting his foot in it and playing around with the rope. It looks a bit ropey to me, but I'm not quite sure what he's up to. Wave. And a wave there. A wave with the spanner. Spanner in the works as he fiddles with his prop.
And as we leave Raymond Saber, Al Smith, our commentator tomorrow, interviews some of the locals.
We've got two ladies from Brixham who are going to tell us a bit about the local life here.
Well, fishing is the main industry around here, and that's where all the money comes from.
What about these fishermen eating steaks?
Oh yes,
yes, they do. So do we.
How much money do they make?
Make about £300 a week, and that's for the deckhands.
They make a lot of money.
Fishermen are the it's the main industry, and that's where all the money comes from.
Yeah.
What about the tourist trade?
It was good, but it's falling away now.
Well, people just don't have the money anymore. And the ones that aren't the people who aren't the sharks, that is, if you know what I mean, the ones that give you really crummy accommodation, they're going out of business. And it's only the better people now that are sort of staying in business.
Now we got Suzanne. Suzanne, where are we going?
At the moment we're going to the Brixham Yacht Club as I'm the boatman.
That way a bit. We're going to crash it.
This is the best boatman I've ever seen, chap. Here we are. Here's Twice as Fresh, aqua mark on the stern here. Adrian, what have you got to say about it?
Well, we're just about to go on a collision course. I'll take the wheel over.
Oh.
Ow! Oh! Ah! Oh!
Here we are. We're on the plane now.
Hold it! Oh, we're going to get the hell out of here.
Run!
Oh! Hey! 4 men in a boat. Stop!
Stop falling overboard!
Will you stop filming?
Okay. And from the boat girls, we turn our attentions to the girls from She magazine. 3 of these lucky girls will be coming out tomorrow in the race as co-drivers on the Reckitt and Coleman boats, including, of course, Hayes Twice as Fresh. And here now, coming up on your screens, is one of the boats that will be out tomorrow, Deep Fresh, one of the Reckitt and Coleman triple team. Colin Stewart here, driver of Disprin. He never has to worry about a headache, driven successfully this year, and is the competitor tomorrow against Hayes Twice as Fresh from the National Championship to count as radio, a Class 3D boat. And as our camera pans round now onto Ego Rothmans, the mount of Renato Delavelli, who has just won the World Championship Series at Cowes, we turn now back to one of the other boats that will not be competing tomorrow.
One of the fastest boats in the class.
And here we see Jeff Lindsay in a Class 1 offshore Brixham powerboat.
Cavitation, cavitation. Start boat for tomorrow's big Grand Prix.
And looking now at the stern of Tramontana 3. We'll be going on board in a moment for an interview with Tim Powell, but before we do so, let's meet the local harbour master.
Yes, I am the mooring master for your race, and very nice to see you all here.
This is our crew here.
And the young ladies are ferrying also. And we hope that it'll be a very nice race and very nice to see you all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 3rd of September 1982 and we're down here in Brixham and I'm with Tim Powell. Good afternoon, Tim.
David, good afternoon to you.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me aboard Tramontana 3. Tell me now something about racing with the Popeye team this year.
I don't know what you want to know specifically, but they were sadly the only American team that came over for our event. They came over for the Harmsworth, and now we all know they actually took the Harmsworth away with them. Very, very professional team.
Well, that's what I want to hear, the professionalism of the United States teams in comparison to our teams. How do they rate?
I don't think they necessarily rate that much better than our really top teams over here. I think one's got to remember that all the equipment that the boats are using at that level is of American origin, and therefore where it's costing them $1, it's costing us £1. So in ways it's cheaper for them to come over and race with us than us to go over there, or for us to race over here with their equipment.
Well, they were tremendously complimentary about you at the prize giving, as you were in fact navigating, I believe, that race, or were you throttling?
No, I was navigating. Bill Soroy's was on throttles and trim, and Al Copeland was driving, and I was in the left-hand seat trying to tell them where to go.
And what sort of race did you have with them?
It was bumpy. Al Copeland has done quite a number of races, but he's one of these lucky guys. He's never actually had a rough race in his life. And when we went off the needles on that first race, that was the first time he'd ever experienced that kind of water, so it was a new experience for him. Soroy's has been around in the racing game for 20-odd years, so he knew what he was up against. I knew what we were up against. And Copeland really, he's a gutsy guy. I mean, he never asked anybody to back off. I mean, he just drove it in a straight line as best he could.
So what would you say to some of our American friends who will be watching this film for next year, 1983?
Well, I'd say they'd got it all wrong for 82. They should have all come over here and enjoyed everything that we laid on for them. It was a hard series of races. De La Valle won it just through reliability. I would have liked to have seen a lot more Americans over here. We can cope with a lot more Americans.
And we leave Tim Powell basking in the sunshine as our waterborne camera takes up the live action on race day.
A bit of pre-race work going on here before the Brixham International. Now looking at John Crafters. A wave, please, John. A wave. Thank you. Hayes twice as fresh, just waving as we go out to the start. Renato there from Italy should do well today. 558. Tropomare, very interesting boat. Disprin bidding for the championship. Tony Fletcher bidding for a win today, P17. Gary just checking the engines. And also some of the crew members there just doing last minute checks.
And it's flat calm out in the bay at the start of the race as the fleet approaches us.
Ted's in the lead. This is the start. I can see Tropomere there. This is one of the best starts ever. And Renato battling it out now after the first lap. And here comes Ted Tolman. The cat. A battle here, a battle. Renato and...
The second Peter Stuyvesant boat tracked by Aquaglide.
This is the Cat Spirit of Dorset in the lead in Class 3. Southern Raider, second. Raymond Saber coming through now. John Craxford at the controls. Now we've got Ian Burney there. Nice little dice here with 3 more Class 3 boats. This is the Tolmans. The twins not doing too badly. Now this boat comes from the North Country, racing Class 1, the Turbo Shot. She's not very loud. Tony Fletcher leading in the overall cruiser position. Spirit of Canada.
Travelling at some 60 miles an hour here. P25 Alan Webb going very well today. Closely followed by Colin Stewart in Disprin, the fast one, and the Class 1 catamaran.
Here's the Cat. He's well ahead. The Comedian, Jim Davidson. Tom Richards with one of the She young ladies on board. Racing now behind Alan Webb and Disprin. This boat's going very well today. The Twin 140, a little wave there. Followed by Renato. This is Renato de la Valle. Hayes Price is fresh with a young lady on board, lying 4th.
And now some really close action in Class 3, for whom the conditions are quite ideal.
Tropomere. Class 1. Alan Webb really racing well today. In the lead. Now this is interesting. We've got Discipline lying second with the Rampage, and look at this in the distance. Tropomere. Class 1. Alan Webb really racing well today. In the lead. Now this is interesting. We've got Discipline lying second with the Rampage, and look at this in the distance. Ted is doing so well. Here comes Renato. Lying second, very close.
With Ted Tolman screaming across the line, it's goodbye from Brixham, 1982.